My current topic for today's presentation is development of a composite index to assess renewability of patents. As Mr. Sid Iyer said, so when you are a small, the patent portfolio is small, there is no problem. Once the patent portfolio grows, then there will be a complex problem. How to take a decision to really what patents we should renew and what patents we should drop. So there is no quantitative tool readily available. So we made an attempt in our center to develop this tool based on a request received from our principal organization. Our organization is called International Advanced Research Center for Powder Metallurgy and New Materials, which is a Department of Science and Technology institution. It's about some 14 years institute. We have developed a number of technologies. We have filed patents. About 65 or 68 patents have been so far filed, out of which around 21 or 22 patents have been granted. Now the time has come to renew them. So our organization has asked us, can you, being a center for knowledge management, can you come out with a tool which can help us in taking a decision which patents we should renew and which patents we should not renew. So based on our expertise and knowledge and based on the published literature, we made a small attempt to develop this tool. This is a very preliminary tool. I need probably inputs from all of you so that we can refine it further and test it in more number of cases so that the validity of the tool can be established. This is how I planned my presentation. I would like to talk few minutes about our center, that is Center for Knowledge Management in Nanoscience and Technology, who we are, what we do, and what services we offer, and why it was set up. Then what is the need for development of a tool like this to assess the renewability of patents, and the development of a tool, and validation of the tool through a case study, and summary and conclusions. About CKM, as I told you, Government of India in the 11th 5-year plan earmarked about 1,000 crores towards nanotechnology research and development in our country. So as a result of this initiative, number of facilities have been created across the country, and number of projects have been funded. More than 5,000 scientists are working in our country in the area of nanoscience and technology. And fortunately, now we are rather at par with the developing countries in terms of research publications in the area of nanoscience and technology. India ranks third at the global level in the area of nanoscience and technology publications. That is also one of our responsibility given to us to track the developments taking place across the globe in the area of nanoscience and technology, and also rank the countries in this development. So the Center for Knowledge Management of Nanoscience and Technology was established in the year 2009 by our principal laboratory, that is ARCI. It's called International Advanced Research Center, with partial financial assistance from the Nano Mission of Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. The principal objectives given to the center are one is to foster the exchange and dissemination of advanced technical knowledge in the rapidly expanding field of nanoscience and technology. As Mr. Sid said, the nanotechnology has got applications in almost all industry verticals. There is no industry vertical which nanotechnology cannot touch. So that is why I said it is going to be a game-changing technology in the years to come. So to monitor these developments, Government of India thought, why can't we set up a center? That is how we came into existence. So our first and foremost job is to generate the information and disseminate it among the stakeholders. Other one is offering wide-ranging services to the nano stakeholders, including strategic inputs to the Nano Mission. There is a central mission at the Government of India level which monitors, which sanction programs to carry out research in our country, and also it provides a strategic direction to the research labs in what areas we should carry out this research and what are the applications we should develop, so what projects we should fund. And also this mission also needs some strategic inputs like what are the key areas of applications taking place, or what are the key areas of research being carried out across the globe, how the funding is taking place, how the regulations are being drawn or implemented across the globe. So these kind of inputs, they need to formulate Government of India's policies. So we also provide such kind of inputs to this Nano Mission. To meet all these mandate, the center is well equipped with requisite state-of-the-art in-house resources such as vast collection of technical and scientific literature and patent analysis, databases, company databases, and business analytics, software packages, coupled with skilled manpower in this domain. To start with, we have established some of the facilities, like for literature databases like Web of Science, Science Direct, all the ACS, APS, AIP, IEEE, annual reviews, IOP Science, JCCC, Scopus, Nature Publishing group of all journals, Sage Engineering and Material Science collections, Wiley Blackwell, World Science, and most of the publications, whatever you name, any publication related to nanotechnology, we have access to that. Similarly, we have a number of patent databases, including Thomson Innovation and recent patents on nanotechnology and some analytic softwares like Vantage Point. We have also company database like Dun & Bradstreet. And apart from that, as I told you, we have about some 40 scientists who are working in this area, 50% of them with the doctorates. We have a good R&D base as well as a management center, knowledge management center. Our knowledge management center offers the following services. As I told you, the first and foremost service we offer is knowledge dissemination through Nanotech Insights newsletter. This is one of our first initiative. Probably most of you have got a copy of this Nanotech Insight newsletter, which we have kept at the registration desk. This is a quarterly issue in which we publish the nanotechnology patents as well as technologies available for transfer, and also the recent developments taking place in the basic research as well as applied research. And also we bring out a patent roundup in one of the emerging technologies in this area. We publish in this Nanotech Insight newsletter, and we mail this one to about 5,000 customers or clients across the country. Apart from that, we also provide market research reports to the entrepreneurs. Suppose somebody would like to become an entrepreneur, he wants to know the market or the business opportunities, we also make a market research reports on a given technology. We also prepare techno-commercial reports. Apart from that, patent search and analysis, this is one of our key areas of activities. Technology assessment reports, techno-economic feasibility reports, identifying potential technology collaborations, and literacy search and analysis we carry out at our center. These are some of the nanotech patents we have analyzed recently. As Professor Mr. Sid was saying, CNT composites. We have analyzed its patenting and the landscaping trends, the carbon nanotubes, its composites and its applications, who are all the major players, who are all the major assignees, where are all the major markets, who are all the major technology providers in this area. Like this, we have analyzed a number of patents in this area of nanoscience and technology. Similarly, graphene is another new material. It is, by virtue of its structure, it is a nano material. And similarly, the curcumin, hard coatings, nanotechnology based hard coatings. Similarly, cementitious materials. Cement industry is one of the major areas where nanotechnology can play a role. As we reduce the size, the strength of the cement and number of properties of the cement can be improved. Similarly, nanomaterials in cancer imaging, nanomaterials in solar cells, lithium-ion batteries, and nanofibers in health and biomedical applications. These are all the reports which we publish in our Nanotech Insights. Apart from this, we also carry out a number of patent analysis services we offer to entrepreneurs, like the patent search analysis, pre-art search analysis, freedom to operate or white space analysis, patent citation mapping, patent landscaping, key patents and major assignees, claims analysis, invalidation and infringement analysis with reference to nanotechnologies and advanced materials. During the last 4 years, we have brought out a number of publications for industry as well as the government. One report we recently completed for a company in Bangalore. They have developed a technology. They wanted to know whether they can file a patent on the technology. This is a silver silicon oil composite, which is basically used as a master batches in plastics. This plastic has got a antimicrobial properties. Once you use this in plastic water tanks or pipes, this plastic, while transporting water, you can clean the water. So that is the kind of potential it has got. So they developed this technology. They wanted us to evaluate, and they asked us to draft the patent. So we have drafted it, and they filed the patent application. Similarly, another multinational company, Pune-based multinational company, they also approached us to prepare a techno-commercial report and patent analysis report on nano zinc oxide for various applications. So that also we completed it successfully and gave it to them. They were very happy with the report. Similarly, one other small startup company, they developed a nano copper based on herbal roots. So they wanted to know the market potential for nano copper. So we made a detailed survey. We also submitted a report to them indicating what is the market potential for nano copper, who are the competitors, what is the global production capacities, which are the major exporters, which are the major users, and all those things. Similarly, we brought out a report on nano sensors. We also brought out a report on guidelines and best practices one should observe while handling the nano materials. So this is a Government of India asked us to prepare a report. So we prepared, and this report has been circulated to all the laboratories which have got funding from Government of India for various nanotechnology development projects. Similarly, government also wanted us to prepare a regulatory framework report, because nanotechnology, there are a number of advantages. At the same time, there are a number of perceived risks are involved in nanotechnologies. So government wanted to know what kind of regulatory practices are there across the globe. So we have prepared a report, we have reviewed the regulatory framework, practices being followed across the globe, and we prepared a very concise report based on which Government of India is also contemplating to bring a regulation for nanomaterials in our country. And there was also a request from industry and academic institutions to bring out a directory, Indian Nanotechnology Directory, because there is no consolidated, authentic information source as of now. So now our center has brought out this report recently, and this was released during the last 6th Bangalore Nano. There is also a national event, Bangalore Nano. Every year it is being held at Bangalore. So this was released by the Chief Minister of Karnataka during that conference. As I was telling you, the Nanotech Insights is our regular quarterly issue. We brought out and disseminate information. Apart from that, we also prepared a report for nanofiber applications in biomedical and healthcare. This is for a multi-client report. If any industry or entrepreneur is interested to buy this report, it is available from our center. So this is all about our center, what we are doing and what it has been set up. Coming to the topic of our today's presentation, the development of a composite index tool for assessing renewability of patents. So patents, as we all know, they are all a special class of assets. The inventor or the assignee can realize the value of these assets only if the patents are in force by way of renewing them during the course of their lifespan of 20 years. Renewal of patents involves substantial expenditure. And if you don't renew them, as Mr. Agarwal was pointing out in the morning, it becomes a dead asset. It has got value only as long as it is in a force and it is renewed. So it involves a substantial expenditure. So one needs to take a decision how to really take a decision whether to renew it or not. This problem, particularly public funded institutes and corporate R&D divisions, often confront with a situation how to take a judicious decision whether to renew or not the patent granted to them by the patent offices. So majority of the tools available are subjective and can't be used as a predictive tool. That is as per our assessment. So there was a need felt, and our organization has also asked us, can you develop a tool? So we have made a thorough literature review and examined the existing tools. And there was a methodology called STEP methodology, that is called Strategic Technology Evaluation Program method. Was developed by Chipchand Jain during 1997 for determining the commercial potential of a new technology. Actually, this commercial potential of a new technology is a prerequisite for its successful commercialization. Unless the technology is commercially potential, I think nobody would like to commercialize this technology. So how to evaluate that commercial potential of a technology? If you are able to evaluate that, that gives you some indication about the value of the patent, the monetization of the patent. The value of the patent can be determined once you have a tool to assess the commercial potential of a patent, which in turn is a function of number of variables or dimensions. So here that's what we have constituted a team consisting of this is the flowchart we have developed for assessing commercial potential of a patent and its renewability. So the first and foremost thing is we should have a team of experts. We have got a broad expertise and experience in the area of the domain area of the patent, and also its marketing expertise, and the technology transfer expertise, and the legal expertise, and of course the inventor assignee. So we constituted a small team consisting of all these people, And we have started identifying what are the variables which can be used to measure the commercial potential of a patent. So basically, we have come out with some of those indicators or variables which can be used to measure the commercial potential of a patent. Once that is done, then we have developed a framework to compute composite index to assess commercial potential with appropriate scales to measure the variables. So this framework I would be presenting in my subsequent slide, which gives you a clear idea what is that framework, how it has been developed. Once the framework is in place, then what we need to do is gather the input data for the framework from using different patent databases, and also inputs from inventor assignee. Then compute the total weighted score for each variable as well as for the patent. And we have put a decision rule here. If the total weighted score of the patent is greater than 70% of the theoretical total weightage score, then we say this patent has got a high potential for commercialization. If there is a high potential for commercialization, we can say that yes, this can be renewed. And if the commercial potential is less than 70%, we thought it can be dropped. So that is the logic we have developed and applied this tool on our institute's patent portfolio, about some 25 technologies. So this is how the framework looks like. So as I told you, we have developed this about 14 indicators to assess the commercial potential of a patent. And it has got 4 dimensions. One is the legal dimension, that is the legal status. The other one is the technology dimension, or the technology potential. So legal status, we have identified about 3 variables which are important to evaluate the legal status. One is the time left out for the expiry of the patent. That is very important. The patent has already completed 19 years or so. There is no point in renewing it. If you are not able to commercialize it